This is the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with Keith Eister. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook live show. Happy New Year's to all of you out there. The clock, the page, the calendar is turned to 2026, January 1st. We have a 4-game DraftKings main slate that starts at 7 p.m. and runs till 10:30. If you're playing on FanDuel, they start at 6 and they excluded the 10:30 game because why would you have two consistent slates? Keith, apologies. My camera broke at some point yesterday. It still hasn't fixed itself. So no camera for me, but we get to see your pretty face here instead. Happy New Year's to you, my friend.
Happy New Year. Glad to be on. Definitely hate when the sites do this to us because it makes content so much more difficult. Like, can't we just have two symmetrical 5-game slates and call it a day? Like,
I agree.
It's so easy. What's the problem here?
Why did we need to cut the 6 from one and cut the 10:30 from the other?
Yeah.
I don't know. I unfortunately am not in a position to make those decisions, but neither way, here on this show, we do focus on the DraftKings slate. So we got 7 p.m. as our lock time. Which is good because if you were playing Houston-Brooklyn, Houston's missing like all their centers today. So you would have had to figure out and navigate that situation. In the chat, a lot of you guys already here. Love it. Jeff, good evening. Other Jeff, Happy New Year's. Watch some Jared Sullinger highlights. He was watching Steve Novak highlights yesterday, so he's ready to go. Extra QT Sniper in there, Just Farrow, and Life Tards in the chat as well. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Want to hit that like, share, subscribe button. Free way to support the work we do here over at Fantasy Alarm. We also have our New Year promo going on. It's 50% off the first 6 months. Promo code New Year 50 at checkout. That's fantasyalarm.com/New Year. That's access to all of our NBA, DFS seasonal and betting content, all of our college basketball content, which will be starting out, the rest of our college football content, MMA, NHL, PGA starting up in a couple of weeks here. The rest of the NFL season. So we got you guys covered for 50% off for the next 6 months. So take advantage of that deal. fantasyalarm.com/New Year. Keith, you did the playbook today. Your top overall spend up on the day is Cade Cunningham at 10-2. It's a pretty good point guard position today. Cade, Maxey, and Harden as your top 3. We do have some value though. And if you look at ownership, one team has the top 5 guys from what I'm looking at here today. So how are you approaching point guard knowing there's also some value at this position?
Yeah, there's plenty of value today. We're going to get to a whole bunch of Utah guys.
Yeah.
Can't believe Keontae George isn't playing through that questionable illness after he did last game.
Right.
I actually spent some time writing up a prop of his today because I was so certain that he was going to play. And then at least we got the news already.
You got it already. Yeah.
That could have been really a difficult decision point on the slate is if we didn't have that news. But
a 10:30 start time and not knowing what Utah is doing, but no, we got it thankfully. So
we got it. We know we have some money to spend. So all 3 of these are fantastic options. I think I pretty much ranked them how they are priced. Cade's been phenomenal, like MVP candidate, phenomenal. Gets the fast-paced matchup against Miami. Miami's a good defense, but they always get into these good game environments because they play so fast. A tight spread here as well, so should see full minutes from Cade. Just a massive ceiling, live for a triple-double anytime he's out there.
Yep.
Maxey's been awesome as well. Even with Embiid and George on the floor, he's been awesome this season. He's playing, heard you guys talk about it on the show last night, playing more minutes than anybody in the entire league this season. Almost 40 minutes a game for this guy. So certainly no issues with him. Dallas is good against the 3, but they struggle in the paint. Maxey's top 15 in the league in drives per game, so he can certainly get to the cup. And then Harden is also great, always live for a triple-double as well. But the way Kawhi Leonard is going right now, plus you have a little bit of blowout risk here with Utah sitting their big stars. So Harden is fine. I prefer Kawhi if I'm spending up for one of the Clippers guys. But like I said, Harden is fine. Kawhi is just going so well right now, though.
Yeah, Kawhi, the cover of your playbook, which you guys can go find over at Fantasy Alarm here today. From an ownership perspective, Harden and Cade are the 2 guys kind of people flipping a coin with. Well, up over 30% here. Derek White and then Peyton Pritchard are the next 2 in terms of ownership. Maxey's down here is like the 7th highest roster point guard today. So if you're looking for some tournament leverage on a small slate, Maxey, I was referencing Allen Iverson when that guy played like 43 minutes a night, back in the early 2000s. Like Maxey's kind of picking that mantle up and being the next Sixers guard just that doesn't come off the floor. But so you're getting him as a little bit of a tournament leverage play today if you want to go there. And obviously the ceiling is huge. Derek White had one of the historic games. One of now it was like 4 or 5 guards to ever have 7 blocks in a game. 27, 6, 7, 7 for him the other day. He had 6 stocks the game before that. He's kind of rolling right now. How are you feeling about the Celtics guards?
Yeah, I prefer White just because he does do a little bit of everything as opposed to Pritchard, who's a little bit more scoring dependent. I don't think we're getting 7 blocks again from Derek White, but it was certainly nice to see. You can count on a couple of stocks, a handful, three or 4 even stocks, but probably not 7 again. But I do prefer him over Pritchard, even with a little bit more expensive price tag there.
And then we can go down into the value unless there's some guys, anybody else in the mid tier that you're looking at. But right now, Walter Clayton is the number 1 guard in terms of ownership. Isaiah Collier is up there as well. The two Utah guards are expected to see a lot of minutes here against the Clippers. And then Brandon Williams is also up over 10% tonight. And that was something we had talked about on the preview show as well. But it's just all Utah right now for ownership.
Yeah, I mean, these are just don't overthink it plays. Like, I'm a little surprised that Collier isn't higher owned than Clayton because I expect him to start and play more minutes. Sure. Obviously, he's a little bit more expensive as well. But, I mean, Collier could literally play 30-plus minutes in this spot. I think he kind of has to. Mm-hmm. We'll keep an eye on the injury report. I know Grande dropped it in the Discord that right now, if they don't call up their G League guys, there's only 9 available for Utah. So, like, these guys have to play. They're going to run a 9-man rotation. We'll see if those G League guys get activated or not. But yeah, there's nothing bad to say about them. They're both just way too cheap for their role. And then Brandon Williams is kind of a similar situation. He is playing much more than Nembhard of late. 30 minutes in each of the last 2 games. I think that's a little bit volatile, and it's certainly not guaranteed. We could see Nembhard spike up again. We could see maybe D'Lo take a couple extra minutes. Like, we've seen them mess with this point guard so much over the course of the season that I would be skeptical about 30 minutes again, but you feel pretty good about 25 plus.
Yep, I agree with you. Our guy Anthony throwing us a super chat here. Who should we build around, Cade, Maxey, or Kawhi? Again, we like both guards, and Kawhi is a cover of your playbook today. So if you're picking one of the 3 here, who's the one pick you put to build your lineups around today?
Yeah, with all the value, I think you can get to 2, quite honestly. Kawhi would be the first man in for me. Just, it's unbelievable. He's got the highest usage rate of his career. He's got the most points per game of his career. We're going to get to Kawhi, but just the way he's playing right now, it's hard to fade that. The price just hasn't quite caught up to this version of Kawhi Leonard right now.
Yeah, agreed. Straight Cash was, why isn't Utah on the FanDuel slate? I don't know, man. Honestly, I don't know why they decided to cut off a 10:30. FanDuel never cuts games off slates, and they decided to get rid of the 10:30 game on this one. So I guess unfortunately, if you're on FanDuel today, you have to deal with Brooklyn, Houston, and not with all the value with Utah today, I guess is the way to go there. We do appreciate you all tuning in. Again, we'll go position by position here. So I see some questions regarding some other spots. We're going to move on over there, and we'll get to some of those as we come across it. Do we have any concern level about guys who got banged up last night with hangovers? I mean, you hope they're all professionals, right? You hope that they're, not going out, staying up till 3 a.m. and partying and all these things. So you can't build lineups around that. But I guess if you had to pick a partier, James Harden, notorious fan of the strip clubs, would be the one. They're at home, so it's not like they're out in Salt Lake City looking for strip clubs. He probably knows where they are in LA. But that's probably the only thing we're worried about there. Any other point guards for you, Keith?
No, I think that covers it. You're going to have a ton of exposure on those Jazz guys.
Agreed. A lot of these guys have dual positional eligibility. So if you go to shooting guard, it's almost the exact same list over here on DraftKings. Derek White, we've touched on. You have Norm at 7K, Edgecombe at 64. Some of these Philly guys and Miami players about the only difference here. Are you looking to spend up at this position?
Not particularly. We mentioned Clayton, who has shooting guard eligibility as well. So you can play both of the Utah point guards. We talked about Derek White as well. Norm Powell, the name we haven't mentioned that I do have some interest in. It's a really tough matchup against Detroit, who's been great defensively this season. But Norm is leading the team in usage, and he's been awesome with Tyler Hero off the floor. So I think he can get there.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Again, if I'm just looking at some current ownership numbers, it's just hilarious. It's Sensabaugh, it's Clayton, Svi Mihailik is getting over 30%. Sensabaugh right now that I'm looking at is up over 60, and we'll have all this updated over at Fantasy Alarm as we get closer to roster lock as well. Do you just blind trust here with some of these Utah plays?
Yeah, I mean, even if they struggle, you figure they're going to put up 100 points, right? And they just don't. I think Filipowski's their highest priced player at 5,700 or whatever he is. That like they're just all like ridiculously underpriced. Sensabaugh's going to play 35 minutes here probably. He just did it last game.
And
last
he's
three
not
games.
going to have. And he won't have to compete with 20 shots from Keontae George, 20 shots from Lauri Markkanen. Like he'll have the opportunity to take more than 9 shots in this game. So right. I'm with you there, and that's why the field again is like 60%. Would you play anybody else? Christie's been playing more lately. Anthony Simons is someone that Grande likes to kind of throw some shots at every now and then in tournaments. Jaden Ivey was getting a little bit of ownership. That's thankfully since dissipated because I was like, why are we falling for that trap again? Anything else here at shooting guard?
So the Detroit situation is really interesting. It was Sasser who actually got all the run that we expected Jaden Ivey to get in the last game. I mean, as a low-owned tournament dart, I don't mind just hoping that Ivey, in this is super large field tournaments only, obviously. If he runs into 22 minutes tonight, he could absolutely pay off 4,200. He's a great fantasy per minute player. He just doesn't play the minutes. So on a slate where everybody's playing Utah guards, I don't hate a pivot, even the shot on Sasser, and just like he overperformed for sure. His shooting efficiency is not going to repeat that. But I think he has a good chance to play 24 minutes in this spot. So I don't hate a shot on the Detroit guys.
Okay. Anything else here at shooting guard?
Nope.
All righty. Small forward where we get Kawhi, we got Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown, the cover of the live show. Kawhi Leonard, the cover of the playbook here today. Small forward with Brown, Leonard, and even Cooper Flagg kind of thrown into the mix there. Some good matchups here. Grande said on the preview show he thought that we could see Jaylen Brown going for 40 actual, given Sacramento's defense against wings. How are you figuring this position out today?
Yeah, it's a fantastic matchup for Jaylen Brown. Sacramento's bottom of the league in defense. They play at an above average pace. I think they're 13th in pace and like 28th in defensive rating. So just a really solid matchup for JB. We know the usage is going to be there. He's over 35% on the season. He's just a machine for 50 fantasy points. Like he's been doing it for over a month now, where he's just a consistent lock for 50 fantasy points. Even had double-digit assists, so live for a double-double. He's been rebounding a little bit more as well, so nothing bad to say about Jaylen Brown. Love the matchup for him.
But obviously, Kawhi, you just must have a little hesitancy that maybe Kawhi gets just 3 quarters in this game, right? That's probably the only drawback to him because, I mean, as you mentioned, he's kind of been just playing out of his mind. It's funny to say that someone like Kawhi Leonard, for as prolific of a player that he's been, all-star, all-team, all-pro, champion, this is the best he's played. Like we're at peak Kawhi Leonard right now.
Yeah, 34 years old, having the best season of his career. It's wild. But like this stretch has been insane. That last game against Sacramento, he did that in 3 quarters. So I think that you're looking at a similar type performance here. Even if he only plays 3 quarters, he could still run into 55 DraftKings points. Like I'm not all that concerned about blowout because I just think that he's underpriced for what he's doing recently.
I agree. Again, it's kind of insane to see, and obviously there's not going to be much resistance necessarily. Though we say this, and sometimes these guys who get brought up or role players just try harder, and then all of a sudden, they surprise a little bit here. Again, I mentioned Cooper Flagg. Anthony Davis is back, but Cooper Flagg's been playing with AD this whole time, and he's been looking great. So I'm not really too concerned. You got a little price discount on Cooper Flagg. Could go for 40 plus today. Anything else here at small forward in this mid range?
Not in the mid-range. Asar's just not playing enough minutes. Even with Tobias Harris, I don't think that we need to go there on this slate with all the Utah value.
Okay. And then again, the value, some of these guys we've ran over, Sensabaugh is here. From an ownership perspective, we're currently looking at Sensabaugh, Hendricks, and Mihailuka small forward options. Kawhi is the highest rostered of the top spend. You're almost getting a 2-to-1 on him over Jaylen Brown as of now. So you do get some tournament leverage going JB. But then again, it's, do you have a preference of Utah guys? Do you like Hendricks at all here? Or Svi?
Svi is the only one that I struggle with. I'm good with the guards for sure, Collier and Clayton.
Yeah.
I struggle with Svi just because he's so low per minute. Now that could change in this setup. we're taking two massive usage players off the floor in Keontae George and Lauri Markkanen. Maybe Svi has to shoot 15 times in this spot.
Sure.
That's not typically his game. I trust somebody like Sensabaugh to pick up that role much more than I do Svi. Hendricks is kind of the same boat, not typically a huge usage player, but a guy that I could see running into it. We saw it. It was about a week ago, maybe 10 days ago at this point. Hendricks started and played like 30 plus minutes and actually had a really solid game a night that the Jazz were shorthanded. So he can do it. I trust him to do it more than Svi.
Yeah, I agree with you. Our Svi plan of attack when it comes to grind is if he's in the starting lineup, we can kind of trust him. If he's not starting, he could DNP. Now, if they only have 9 guys, he's going to have to play. There's obviously almost like no minute sample size with everybody who's out of the lineup tonight this year. So you can't even really get a good look at like, all right, like, you take off Bailey and Nurkic and George and Markkanen and see what like sort of the lineup rotation looks like. It's like 20 minutes. So they at the end of game blowouts is basically when anybody hears on the floor without those guys. So kind of difficult to judge. Anything else though at small forward for you?
Ron Holland's a little bit interesting, and only if you're just looking for a reason to get away from Utah. Sure. It's not anywhere near as comfortable. But without Tobias Harris, he should run into a few more minutes here.
Yeah, I don't mind that. Power forward we go then. Up at the top of this position, again, we have Anthony Davis back, 9,400. They said he's feeling good. Don't expect any limitations. If that's the case, if he's going to go out and play 35 minutes, he's too cheap at $9,400. We've seen and talked about that plenty. How are you breaking down this top group? Filipowski is the highest roster play, up over 50%. He's got the power forward center eligibility here. Do you have any considerations for the top tier before him?
I don't mind some AD. It's a little bit concerning coming off the injury, first game back. We had some coach speak saying he's good to go. So I'm just going to have to trust that a little bit. I'll plug him in a little. But Filipowski's obviously the star of the position. That's like I don't know. If I was playing 20 lineups, he'd probably be in 18 of them. Like, I don't see how Filipowski fails in this spot. He has succeeded every time Nurkic has sat, even alongside Keontae George and Lauri Markkanen. And now he gets those two guys out as well. Like, if he doesn't get there tonight, then it's gone really, really bad for the Jazz.
And really bad for everybody in DFS who played him.
Yes.
60%. I'm with you, though. Again, it would be AD, it'd be Filipowski. I don't see a need to play George or Murray just to be different. If you're making 20 lineups or something, would be the spot. I do like Isaiah Stewart, when he gets opportunities to sort of see some increased player or run, rather. He's a high fantasy point per minute player, can go out there and just break a slate pretty quickly if he's not getting into foul trouble. So in tournaments at 5K, they could start him today. We've seen them go with a double big without Tobias Harris before, and Miami is a team that also runs a double big lineup at times with Ware and Bam, so it would make sense to see Stewart out there. So I do like him at 5K. If you were looking for an alternative to Filipowski, or if you just didn't want to play AD, you could play them both, Filipowski and Stewart. Anything else for you? Like, we've seen Jovic get a lot of run lately. Some other value plays potentially at this position.
Yeah, I just want to piggyback on your Isaiah Stewart call there because I completely agree. I think he's one of the best tournament plays on the slate. He only played 19 minutes despite Tobias Harris going out in the first quarter. I think people are going to be a little bit afraid of that. But if you look at Miami's lineup, you just touched on it a little bit. They play double big a ton. They start Ware and Adebayo, and then Jovic has been playing huge minutes as well. Yep. So they're going to have two bigs on the floor almost the entire game. I think Beef Stew could find 30 minutes in the spot. That, like, just a great call by you there. Completely on board with that. I think Jovic is also in play. He's been awesome, and when you're playing that well, how do you take the role away? I know we've seen that in different spots, Boston being one of them, where they just randomly will nuke a guy's minutes. But with Jovic playing like this, I feel like if Fontecchio is back tonight, if he's active, it's a little bit concerning, to be honest. And maybe you don't need to go there on this slate, but if you're looking for a pivot, Jovic has been playing really well.
It's so frustrating with some of these rotations because, like, we were big Jovic guys last season when he was getting the run. And then when we see him get extended, you're like, yes, like, this is the player we know that he can be, it seems like. But then once sort of healthy rotations get back in, Spoelstra just, like, ices this guy again. We're like, why are we Why are we not playing Nikola Jovic? You used the first round pick on him. You paid him in the offseason. Like, what are we not giving him minutes for? It would be a weird time to bench him now, but we've seen NBA coaches do it time and time again. So definitely a tournament play. Where was the other one? Is right here, Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson's another veteran player that is active tonight. We've seen him play minutes. We've seen him start. We've seen him play a lot of minutes at times. He can be boring, but he also can fill the stat sheet up a little bit. He's up over 40% right now in ownership. So just a lot of leaps of faith here at $3,000 with Kyle Anderson.
That's another one that I struggle with. And I know he's had his moments in the association.
Yep.
He's kind of in the speed bucket for me. I feel much better about the Sensabaz and even, I'm losing his name now. Hendricks than I do about Anderson. If he were low owned, I would be all about pivoting some ownership and trying to find the random slow-mo game, but it's not a comfortable thing. I did pull up their injury report just to get the most recent.
Yeah.
Harkless and Tanjay are both still listed out. So I think they would have had to, I guess it is a really late game. Maybe I don't know what their reporting requirements are for when they need to say those guys will be active tonight, if they're going to be. But Anderson's going to be out there if they only have 9. That's the best I can say.
Yep, I agree with you. The one thing with a guy like Kyle Anderson is if it does get out of hand, he'd probably be the first of the group to not play anymore. But who knows? Just a lot of questions. I look forward to maybe the new injury reporting that they're trying to implement with all the around the NBA. You'll get mandatory like every 30-minute updates or something like that. They were trying to do. Yeah, so we'll get some more to that. But for now, we got nothing. Any other Boston plays for you? Now that Grande's not here, maybe we can talk some other Boston plays. They got Sacramento. It is a good matchup for them. We obviously know the big three with Brown, Pritchard, and Derek White. But do you like Ugo, Walsh, Minot? Anything there for the Wings?
On a different slate, I'm into it because I do think that this is an exploitable situation for large field tournaments, which is what I play. Yep. On this slate where the value is so good and so secure, I don't think you need to mess around with it.
Okay. Going on over to center then. Anthony Davis can be played here as well. 94. Joel Embiid, $8,500. Bam, Derwin, round out your 7K range.
Duren is the one I really like. We touched on AD a little bit. Embiid, obviously coming off the absolute nuke game, probably his best game of the season. 38 minutes for him. It was an overtime game, but still the fact that his knees were able to handle 38 minutes in 2025.
And he might actually he's expected to play today. So
so must have came through it okay, feeling okay. No issues going right back to Embiid. Duren is really interesting. It's a tough matchup, obviously, against Miami with Adebayo and Ware both being really good inside. But Duren was awesome when Tobias Harris missed time earlier this season. Like, he had a 50 fantasy point ceiling, and he was hitting it often. It's interesting. I wish it were a better matchup, but I don't think a ton of people are going there today. So interesting large field tournament play.
Below him is Khalil Ware, and obviously Bam is a little bit above him. I'd rather play Ware than Bam if I was picking one of the two here today. Are you in agreement with that?
I'm sorry, Ware? Yeah, Ware and Bam.
Ware over Bam, if you had to pick one.
Yes, just like Ware has the same double-double upside. He's cheaper. Like, it just makes a lot more sense for Ware for me.
Yep, agreed. Again, Filipowski can be played here. Any interest in some of the value plays? Maxime, Rolo, Kada. We talked Stewart already. Anything for Luka Garza as straight cash home brings us and playing some good basketball lately. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, on a different slate, this is absolutely where I would live, right in this 5K range for center, because I do think there's some ceiling here. Reynaud has been really good for Sacramento. Even with Eubanks back in the lineup, is playing 30-plus minutes. He's certainly live for a double-double. I think Brook Lopez is interesting. We've seen him play over 30 minutes with Zubac sidelined.
Yeah. And it feels like a great spot for a lot of Clippers today. So
yeah, just they're certainly not going to push him. So is there any world that he gets to 30 minutes today? I'm not sure about that. Kada, I think is interesting. He's played upper 20s minutes the last 2 nights. We've talked a lot about this Boston rotation. He could absolutely end up with 21 minutes tonight, and nobody would be shocked.
Again, Luka Garza was crushing it for 3 games, then plays 11 with foul trouble, and then just 19 the game after.
So I played a ton of Luka Garza last game, actually, because of that foul trouble. I was thinking there was potentially a chance he could get back into those low 20s. I certainly don't mind that. He's a great per minute producer. If he gets to 20 minutes, that could look really good.
Get a little Yannick Niederheiser comment in the chat here. 25 minutes. I mean, not a bad play, honestly. Not a bad play tonight.
Yeah, I guess if you're playing the blowout angle, like he could legitimately get some serious run here. So I started to kind of poo-poo that, but the more I think about that, I like that call a lot.
Play 25 minutes in their 40-point win. I mean, that could definitely happen here.
Yeah, a repeat. Exactly. Just get a repeat of that.
Yeah, agreed with you there. Anything else here at center for you?
No, I think that covers it.
All right, let's get a couple of these questions in, guys. I wasn't ignoring you intentionally. I saw them here. Obviously, Houston, Brooklyn is a game that's not on the DraftKings slate, but is Claxton a good play tonight? Şengün, obviously, we think is in. They don't have Adams or Capella. Would you take some shots on Nick Claxton if you're on FanDuel today?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what Filipowski's eligibility is over there. If he's only center, that becomes tough.
Well, actually, they don't have Utah on that slate, so it doesn't even matter.
Oh, you're correct. Yes. Then, yes, Claxton's a great play.
And then another question below that is, who do we like on the Nets today? They're without MPJ, right?
That's correct. Yes. I don't think Cam Thomas is up to enough minutes yet. He can fill it up in a hurry. So if you want to take a large field tournament stab there, I'm fine with that. The guy that's really popping is Danny Wolf. I think he's going to step into a huge role.
Yeah, Wolf and Clowney probably pop a little bit there. Because no Agor too, right? Is he ruled out?
I believe that's correct as well.
Yeah. But yeah, right. You haven't even gotten 20 minutes yet out of Cam Thomas, so a little bit difficult to go there. Right. Do we like Sasser tonight? We did touch on that a little bit. It's almost impossible to know who's going to get the minutes. They did play Sasser over Ivy, but Sasser also was on a super heater in that game, so they could have just ridden the hot hand. So on a slate where there's just obvious value to go to with Clayton and with Collier, better off just playing that than taking Sasser. But if you're playing 20 lineups tonight and you're willing to get, take some edge there, then sure, throw a lineup with Sasser, throw a lineup with Ivy, and kind of see what breaks for you there. Would you play Duren and Beef Stew together?
I think they could share the floor a lot. So I don't think it's a terrible idea, but because Filipowski exists and Hendricks exists, like there's a lot of good value too. I'd probably just pick one and try to find the ceiling game.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I lean probably Stewart if I had to pick.
Me too. Yep.
All righty, let's build a lineup and we'll just be as shocky as hell. So just going to click Utah. How many Jazz or too many Jazz tonight?
I mean, I think 4 is at least what you want. Like it's that good of a spot for them tonight. We didn't even talk about the matchup. Like the Clippers have not played defense this season either. So it's a good spot. The team total is still huge. I haven't seen the most recent, actually. Before I speak on that, I should probably go check, but it's a great game environment. I believe those are my top 4 plays as well. Hendricks would be next for me. The bigs are interesting. Who knows like what the big rotation is going to look like if Filipowski plays some 4 and we get like an Oscar Tshiebwe sighting. Like, I don't know. I think you can get crazy with.
I mean, dude, you can play as many people as you want tonight. There's just like
if there's only 9 active, you can literally play all nine.
Well, I was just building out the core lineup, and I just like did 4 Jazz, 80K, the top 2 price guys. Still got like 6K to go. You can start to scrub this one pretty easily here if you wanted to go to. If you did Jaylen Brown here though. 61-50 guard utility, Collier, Clayton, Sensabaugh, Filipowski, Davis, Jaylen Brown for a core. How's that sound to you?
That sounds fantastic.
We got a Jovic or Stewart for FanDuel.
Stewart.
Anthony Simons DDR combo for the late night hammer on FanDuel. Sure. I mean, Simons obviously is the 4th guard, 4th scorer there. So you're going to need him to get on the floor and just shoot So
yep, it's the Detroit guys that are more popular value plays on FanDuel, and that's not near as comfortable as the Utah guys over on DraftKings. So I think you can get a little bit weird there.
agreed. White Garza or Brolo Pritchard?
Give me White Garza. Kind of like that
Yep.
Luka Garza shot today.
Yeah, I don't mind it. Again, he fantasy point per minute beast lately, and if you never know Joe Mazzulla, he goes out there tonight, plays 28 minutes, and would not surprise me. So, all right, guys, we do appreciate you all tuning in. We'll have a preview show for the Friday slate coming out tonight. Happy New Year to all of you. Good luck, and we'll catch you later.